biodynamics is a farming method or philosophy started in 1924 actually by an Austrian scientist named Rudolf Steiner. And you may have heard of his name in other contexts actually. He was a scientist and a philosopher and also an educator, the Waldorf school system, for instance. Let's say Rudolf Steiner. Anyway, it's the oldest form of non-chemical farming going on. It predates organic farming by more than 20 years. It goes way beyond organic farming too, which we'll be talking a bit about as we go through. But in the meantime, we're not using any pesticides or herbicides or chemical or artificial fertilizers here on the ranch. And we haven't now for over 13 years. So there's the occasional challenge associated with this, to say the least. How to keep the soils vital and rich and the vines healthy and strong. How to control diseases and pests. There are just a few of those many things we've got to figure out. Mother Nature's done a great job of that in the Sonoma Mountain above us and the woods around us, for instance. She's struck a balance of things and done pretty well. Down here, we've kind of tipped the balance with all these grapevines. So biodynamic helps us to get things back in order, back in balance. We plant, well, for every acre of grapevines that you see around us are produced every year, somewhere between 2 and 8 tons of grapes. That's the range, roughly, just depending on the varietal where it's planted. The Cabernet's toward the lower end of that. Your Sauvignon Blancs, for instance, toward the higher end. But it's quite a drain on the soil in any case, as you can imagine. We're not using the chemical fertilizer. So everything here is composted. Landscape trimmings from the vines themselves, of course, and also the leftovers from the winemaking process, the skins and seeds and stems and leaves and so on. All composted, work back to this. There's some of our little sheep. That's our ram's bachelor hut there. I guess he's got some company today. Oh no, he doesn't have any company today. Okay. We started out with 25, oh no, there's a couple back there. Yeah, a couple of ewes back there. We started out with 25 ewes and a ram. They all had, not all, but most had lambs this spring. We were up to about 50 in our little flock. And then a mountain lion came down off the hill here and took 3 lambs and the ram. I was shocked because he was quite a stout fellow. He was quite the guy. Not going to talk about that. Aside from the ducks, you mean?
Yes.
Anyway, there's no reason for that, so we're down to 45 or so. Here's the rest of them under the... Now, we're not using the herbicides here, so now we don't turn the sheep out this time of the year. They love the grapevines. They would eat them up. But, I'll pull up here.